hope there's no questions.
So yeah, what was it? YouTube?
Facebook group, YouTube. It's like, there you go. So, first question here from, why do you call her your sister?
She is my half sister.
Okay, so where the fuck is Big Gord?
Big Gord is he's home. He's shot right now from traveling. He had a rough day yesterday. He's like, Gord, I gotta lay down. It's been a rough week. I'm like, why was it a rough week, Dad? He's like, man, traveling to California, sitting on the plane, and then, you know, sitting at the competition, and then sitting on the plane again killed me. And yesterday I went shopping, I went to the bank. I'm shot, Gord. And I was like, all right, Dad, I'll see you in a few days.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Does Big Gord want to make a video? I am seeing more.
People have been asking. People ask for Big Gord hypnotic rash guards, shirts with his face on it. They ask him. They ask for like DVDs on how to eat ice cream sandwiches and get pussy. So they want Big Gord videos.
We should talk about that. There are more questions
about the Big Gord than actually your Gordon.
Man needs ice cream sandwiches. More Big Gord, less jujitsu.
More. Guys, jiu-jitsu question, guys.
What you gotta do? AMA with Big Gord. They should have brought him.
Big Gord's an absolute unit.
It's an absolute unit.
How old is Big Gord?
57, yeah.
And Albania Nightmares Work is asking, Gordon, how long will we be out of competition? Is the knee getting better?
So I need to get surgery on it, so probably about 3 months. 3 to 5 months, depending on how it heals.
And Rob Canal is asking, what's your next instructional?
Not sure yet. I'm thinking about maybe a bottom guard, some kind of bottom guard. So we'll see. Maybe bottom half guard, bottom butterfly half, something like that.
Have you ever played any traditional sports?
I played like Pop Warner football for like a season, and then I wrestled when I was like super young for like a few months, but that's pretty much it.
Big Gord needs to start jiu-jitsu. Does he train?
No.
Not at all?
If you ask Big Gord if he ever does jiu-jitsu or if he's ever going to do jiu-jitsu, nah, man. Did a lot of fighting growing up in the streets. And then Tug goes to some random story about how I used to get into a fight with someone.
And then Adam is asking, so what about the ADCC now with your knee?
Should be okay. I'm hoping I'm going to be okay. I've still got a long way from ADCC, so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do ADCC. Hoping I'm going to be able to do the Grand Prix as well, but we'll see about the Grand Prix, and hopefully ADCC is fine.
So, someone just asked, trainer Greenman asked, does the King do cardio outside of Jiu-Jitsu?
Most of my cardio is by lifting. A lot of high reps and circuit training. So going from one exercise to the other, and you doing 20, 30 reps on each one back to back without any rest. That's like my cardio workout with wrestling and doing jiu-jitsu.
That's another great question. Who is the smelliest competitor you have had a chance to roll with? Come on, guys.
Who is what?
Josh is smelliest.
Oh, the smelliest?
Yeah.
Nobody's been really smelly. Nobody's been smelly.
John is grabbing a match. MMA fight. Who wins? Grapple match. I bet on.
Grappling match. John Jones in an MMA fight right
now. How did you manage to recover from training so much?
Just listen to my body, really. If I feel like there's a time where I'm just really beat up, I'll skip a gym session or get some extra sleep that night. Just listen. It's a good mix between listening to your body and not being a pussy. You can't just stay home just because you are a little bit tired, but you also don't want to run yourself into the ground and get sick by overtraining. So
now they're asking, what's Natalia's favorite position in Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, they didn't specify.
I'm guessing it's Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's what
Back takes.
What's your...
a pretty good double.
Yeah.
You scored a pretty good double on Kasai.
Yeah, she did.
And what's your go-to takedown or setup in wrestling?
Go-to takedown is high single legs and double legs.
Got it. And
When are you going to the UFC?
when you're going to see, yeah.
Not for years.
Yeah.
When I don't actually suck at fighting.
And how many days a week do you do full rolls? Probably every day.
Every day, multiple times a day, full rolls every day.
Yeah. 4 rolls every day.
Full rolls.
Full rolls. Yeah.
Yeah, usually like
How long?
so
Sparrings?
1 to 2 sessions a day, jiu-jitsu, 7 days a week, and there's usually 6-minute rolls, and then MMA sparring if you count that.
Juan said he just bought her DVDs. Thank you. Who do you think? Why do you hang out? Why do you hang out with your sister so much?
Close siblings.
Cool, we should say.
What's your?
If your sister was this hot, wouldn't you hang out with her?
What's that?
So if your sister was this hot, wouldn't you hang out with her a lot?
So, what's your MMA training schedule like before injury?
So it would basically after every afternoon class we rest for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then we go upstairs, we do whatever drills John wants us to do. He usually takes us through some new stuff that we should be working on, and then we spar. Sparring is relatively light. We pick our training partners. We're not trying to kill each other because you can't spar hard 7 days a week. But drilling and sparring 7 days a week.
Got it. So, why do you think so many schools ignore teaching leg locks, heel hooks to new students?
Don't really know. There was this common misconception about heel hooks, a few years ago that they're super dangerous or they don't work. But there's a new way of thinking now, and it just has to do with everyone getting, up to speed with that new way of thinking. The heel hook is like anything else. If you put it more behind someone's back and you rip it towards their head as hard as you can, you're probably going to hurt someone. If you put a heel hook in, a deep heel hook in, and you perch as hard as you can, you're probably going to hurt someone. It's just another part of jiu-jitsu that you need to learn, and the earlier you start learning it, the more complete your game is going to be. So,
Good straight question here. What's your biggest weakness?
as far as nogi grappling, has to be my standing position probably. My game in the standing position is competent, but not, I'm not like a world-class wrestler. I feel like I'm world-class in the standing position under an ADCC rule set. I'm not getting scored under specific rule sets. Submission wrestling, I feel, is a strong point of mine, but standing position overall is definitely the weakest part of my game, I would say.
Not a good question here. How much times a week do you cut your hair?
Not too much. I usually just do like before I have to travel, before I'm doing interviews or making an instructional or doing a seminar or competing. That's what I usually save my haircuts for.
Good. How often do you lift weights in a week?
4 to 6 times a week.
How long until Nick beats you?
Probably like 2 months.
2 months.
Next one's good.
Well, while you are and you can train because you're on surgery, right?
Even if I was healthy, probably like 2 or 3 months. The little fucker's getting good.
Can Big Guard officiate my mail order wedding?
Yes, he can. He can. It's gonna cost you though. Big Gord's not cheap.
Favorite food?
Favorite food. I like pizza a lot. I don't know. Pizza's pretty good. I just have so many favorite foods. I like cheeseburgers. I like just like simple chicken and rice. I have a lot of stuff.
Junkie.
So this question here, I would change the question a little. How are you going to stop Verdun from slapping you when you go for leg locks? So for example, let's imagine you go for leg locks and someone starts slapping you. In this case, it was Verdun.
Yeah.
Would it bother you or?
Yeah. So the whole thing with an ashigarami type game is you need to play a constant kazushi game where you're constantly off balancing your partner. The issue with most people who try to play ashigarami, they just hold a static position and they try to attack their partner's legs. That's not really the idea. The idea is to always have a constant off balancing in multiple directions, either front to back, side to side, or diagonal over the shoulders and hips. to constantly keep someone off balance with the ashigarami, so they're never on balance to hit you. Okay, because your legs are in the inside position, keeping someone off balance is relatively easy. Much easier than, say, a closed guard, for example, where your legs are outside and around them, and they can hit you very easily. So most of it is playing an ashigarami type base game with legs in the inside position and having constant kazushi, constant off balancing in multiple directions.
Yeah. Best pass for tall grapplers?
A bunch of different things you can do. Body locks are good for people with long arms. Anyone can do body locks really, but I mean, you can do any of the passes that you really want. Definitely body locks are good. You have big, long, strong arms, and you're trying to get around someone's body. I like body locks. I have pretty long arms, so body lock passing is one of my favorite passes.
How early do you wake up every morning?
So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 a.m. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 9:30 a.m. and the weekends it varies.
What would be your most important strength training?
Most important strength training, I mean, it's all important. I basically do bodybuilder workouts where I have a chest day, a back day, a leg day. So, I mean, they're all important.
Yeah, so just a second. So guys, the new instruction of Gordon is gonna stay on sale until tonight. Only today's the last day, so make sure to check it out on BJJ Fanatics. And let's come back here to the MMA. Carrying 30-30 just body instructional.
Nice.
Nice.
Hopefully you enjoy it.
Are you making adjustments to attack inside a Ashi sinks the injury, meaning the different way instead of recent ways? Or maybe have you been training since
I
your
haven't done
injury?
anything since the injury, so no. The problem in the match was that I didn't get enough displacement of his weight off to the side when I was trying to enter in, so that's why the injury happened. But there was 30 seconds left in the match, and I figured if I could enter into cross ashigarami, I could heal like him. So, you know, I took a risk with entering into a cross ashigarami with his hips over mine versus being out to the side, and it worked against me.
Will you ever come out with a guard retention DVD? This is actually like the second or third person who says that.
Yeah, guard tension is a big thing that I've been getting from people. What I'll probably do next is some kind of bottom half guard, a complete bottom half guard based on all of your opponent's possible reactions they can give you. So bottom half guard is probably going to be the next big one for me.
A lot of interest in a contest between you and Dylan again. Does he grapple?
Dylan, like, literally will never compete against me, ever. He was offered a lot of money multiple times, and he just said no. And when he actually said, he said he needed $10,000 to compete against me, and someone told him they would give him $10,000, and he's just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So Dylan literally will never, ever compete against me.
Some serious interest in Big Cord's Chobani sponsorship. Can we find out, like, what are some more details of what's going on there?
So I messaged Chobani, and he like responded immediately, and they're sending him cases of Chobani. It's supposed to ship on 2/20, February 20th.
Which is probably a good investment for them.
So yeah, he's getting strawberry, blueberry, and banana cream. So he's getting 3 flavors, and they're shipping them all to Big Gord. It's on the way.
What's a funny Danaher story?
Ooh. Funny Danaher story.
All of them.
Man, there's so many. Let me pick a good one. So, John one day is demonstrating on Eric Sherman. And Eric Sherman has a reputation for he gets put to sleep very easily when he's in strangles. And it's a combination of him falling asleep fast and him just not wanting to tap because John's like doing the moves. So when John does moves, I don't know if you guys know, he just ignores taps and he puts in stuff in pretty tight.
We do know that.
Yeah, he puts the stuff in pretty tight. So he's demonstrating in the morning class on Eric Sherman, and he has like a strangle in, and he's like halfway through the move, and Eric Sherman just goes completely unconscious, and like starts convulsing on the mats. John looks at him in front of like 100 people, just gets onto his hands and knees, moves over like 3 feet, and just, you, buddy, just call somebody over from the crowd and just brings him over and starts demonstrating on that guy while Eric is like shaking on the mat. And then the moves and clashes went on. And then Eric woke up and he was just like, oh my God. He's like apologizing. He's like, oh my God, John, I'm so sorry. And John just like ignores him and just goes and sits on the wall.
We have a question in the group. Todd Schaefer in Ohio says, who is your favorite BJJ Fanatics employee in Ohio?
Probably would have to be.
Hillman.
I can't pick anybody really.
Yeah.
I hate them all.
Hillman seems good.
I hate everybody.
Okay.
What's the
Especially
craziest?
Todd.
What's the craziest shit you and Gary have done?
Definitely can't talk about that here.
Advice for a young grappler in a country where BJJ isn't big?
Study a lot of tape. As far as progression goes, study a lot of tape. Watch what the best guys do and try to emulate what they do and try to take what they do and make it better mechanically.
I had a question about your Keenan and the gi. I know that you have a lot of respect for his gi game.
I mean, yeah, I trained with Keenan in the gi a bunch of times. Definitely better than me. Competitive match for sure. You know, after I trained with him for a week or so consecutively in the gi, it was pretty back and forth, competitive, but he's definitely get the better of me every single roll. But definitely competitive.
RKF saying that he bought your DVD. I'm killing the game right now. Thank you, brother.
Awesome. Better pass everybody's guard.
How does your
or else I'll fail
passing?
you.
How does your passing system change in a gi meta?
So in the gi, there's the floating passing and leg pommeling is harder to do if someone grabs a pant leg, for example. Like someone just grabs a random pant leg and can't pommel legs anymore. It's more difficult. The rest of the stuff is pretty applicable. You can use the things I showed, but it's not limited to what I showed. So for example, you can use variations. You can use the same things I showed and variations of them based on, you know, whatever situation you're in. Like there's no uncertain long steps, for example, in the instructional because there's no collars to grab. So you can definitely use the stuff that I showed you, but there's more stuff that you can do in the gi because you have more grips to use.
How are your rolls with GSP?
Competitive. I mean, George is like one of the best guys to train with.
You said his pins are just something else, right?
Yeah, he's pretty much the most competitive guy you can be with to grapple on the feet. His standing grappling is insane. Shots are insane. His feinting and level changing is insane. His base and ability to not get swept from top position is insane. He's one of the hardest guys ever to sweep. He's all around he's very good. He's hard to hold down. It's impossible to stand up on. It's tough. I mean, I'm much bigger than him, and I grapple full time. So if we train hard, obviously I get the better of him. But I mean, it's no easy role. And George definitely does better against me in a grappling match than I would do against him in a fight.
So what's the next big trend in submission grappling? Any guess here? Like, for example, I think he's mentioned like heel hook was probably like the. So what do you think is gonna be the next thing in submission grappling? Any guess?
I don't know. It has to be something that works consistently at the highest levels. I actually have an idea of what it is, but I don't want to say because our team is doing it right now, and I don't want everybody to pick up on it.
Yeah. And why is no one talking about Hey Sonny? What do you think of Bernardo Faria?
I think he's one of the best ever. He's tough. He's got all the accomplishments.
Thank you.
He's funny, very funny.
What do you mix all the grappling principles? Do you mix all the grappling principles into your style?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I didn't understand exactly what this means. Yeah.
That's a good one about. I think it's going to be a positive answer. Opinion on Luke Rockhold's grappling.
Luke Rockhold is very tough. You know, he could go into ADCC right now and hold his own with any of those guys. first of all, he's a freak athlete. He's like there's probably the strongest guy I've ever touched. His like opening warm up was like to come in completely cold and do like a full front and side split at like 210 pounds, and I was just like, what? Oh, this is gonna be a terrible day. But he's one of the hardest people ever to hold down. His ability to stand back up from bottom position is second to none. He's the best ever by far I've trained with in that regard. His front headlocks are very good, very dangerous. He's pretty talented all around. It's no easy day train with Luke.
And well, for every 5 comment here, there is 1 comment asking for seminar. So you have a ton of seminars scheduled. Talk a little bit about your seminars.
Yeah, I have a list of seminars on my Instagram. I have one seminar a weekend for all of March, and I'm trying to book out every weekend in April besides whatever weekend Kasai is on. I'm not sure which weekend that is, but I'm trying to book out April right now. So if you guys are trying to book seminars, jeff@athlete.plus is the email.
Who's the most famous?
Yeah, or favorite celebrity that you have taught or trained?
There's a lot of guys who come to Henzo's. I never trained with him, but Vince Vaughn was there a few times. There's a bunch of guys who come to Henzo's. Obviously Anthony Bourdain was a big one. George is a celebrity. He's a big one.
How is the McMahon guy?
Oh, Shane McMahon is he's awesome. He's the WWE.
Yeah.
He's cool. He's cool. He takes privates with us, and he goes out and he does the stuff that we show him. So that's awesome.
Michael, can you go over there? So guys, this is Michael Zenga, my business partner on BJJ Fanatics. Michael, talk a little bit about the Gordon's video.
Alright, so I'm gonna take over that spot.
Yeah.
It's funny, we were messing around in my basement, and it was like we had a couple guys that rolled with us today, and I kind of they said the same thing to me that I said the first time, like, everyone sees his antics online, but no one expects him to be that technical. He's like a young John, and he passes with such precision. You ask him any kind of question, he knows exactly what to do. And I think the most important thing about it is that it's the system. He's showing you what to do, how to get where you need to get, and he's kind of making it a lot simpler. I mean, there's probably nothing tougher in jiu-jitsu than passing the guard. There's probably no lower percentage position, correct?
Yeah, especially without the gi. It's tough to see because people consistently pass the guard without the gi.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to, with the gi, you can get more of a grip. You can lock guys down. In no gi, I mean, everything's slippery and that kind of thing. But with Gordon's system, that he's kind of fine-tuned under John, that it's just a completely different thing. I think it gives people a frame of reference, and if people study it, it'll change the way that people do pass the guard.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I think just like John changed the way people think about leg locks, I'm trying to change the way that people think about guard passing, essentially.
Yeah. And I mean, you've had such success with it against such high-level guys.
Yeah. So, trying to.
And so, we talk about this. 3 years ago, how would you rate your guard passing skills? Or even 2 years ago?
I was terrible. I really didn't even start practicing guard passing. Like I said before, I was just getting good at doing submissions from top positions. So sitting into legs or going for kimores, trying to get to the back. But actually getting past the legs and going into full guard passes, I've only been doing that for 2 years maybe.
So this is something that people can learn.
Oh yeah.
So if someone right now is not very good at passing the guard, even if they're older, bigger,
you should be able to be good at it depending on what your training schedule is like. World class in it in under 5 years.
And what about just getting pretty good?
Competent, you should be able to do in less than a year, for sure.
For sure. They just have to know what they're doing. And by competent, you probably mean at a level where they're winning local competitions.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not winning ADCC, but...
Hey, son is commenting here in there.
that is a power move. She just went in the other room and started commenting. I like it.
Hopefully she's like, where's the hot chick at?
Guys, more questions? Everybody's just talking about Sonny.
There's probably only about an hour left or so before we close down the launch. Are you serious about learning how to pass the guard? Kind of speak now, or not forever hold your peace, but hold your peace for a while because it's not going to be on anytime soon.
Yeah, guys, the new instructional from Gordon is we're gonna close the sales tonight, so make sure to check it out if you haven't checked it yet on bjjfanatics.com. And let's come back here to the MMA. We'll do seminars in Australia.
Yeah, eventually. Just gotta get down there. I'm pretty booked now at seminars for the next month and a half. But I'm gonna try to make it down there. The problem is I have to find time where I can have like 2 or 3 weeks away to do like a full tour of Australia. I'm not neglecting you guys. I'm just trying to find time to do it right.
Looking forward to the seminar in Lafayette. Is Chinkritter?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
He's a
Should
good
be
friend
fun.
of BJJ Fanatics.
Yeah. So, what would be the that question was already made. What would be the next instructional by you, Gordon?
Half guard probably.
What are some of your philosophies for bottom half guard?
So pretty much, you have certain things you do based on your partner's upper body position, of course, and knee position. So pretty much like we talked about in the passing DVD, we have to reverse engineer everything. But if your partner comes into a split squat, how do we play a low knee shield? How do we play a high knee shield? How do we play a butterfly half guard? How do we play when my partner has a top head and arm with an underhook and a crossface? How do we play if my partner sits over my back and switches their hips? So there's so many different variables that we can talk about, and so many different ways that we can go right into attacking positions off of our partner's attacks when they're trying to pass our guard.
Interesting question here, like how to know you are in a good BJJ gym or have good instructors?
Has your instructor ever competed and won consistently at the highest levels, or produced people that have done so? And that's sometimes not always true, because sometimes people can win at the highest levels and have no idea what they're doing and not be able to teach anything. But in general, the best way to do that, the best way to ensure that is to have someone who's won at the highest levels consistently, or produce athletes that have won at the highest levels consistently. Or if they can teach kids to win at the highest levels of the juvenile divisions consistently. Because if you can portray and teach information to small children and have them do it successfully, that's a good indication of a good instructor.
A good question here too, like should white belt focus on technique or sparring? And I'm gonna implement the question here. And for no gi, should they focus different than gi? What's a guy who just started in jiu-jitsu, should he focus in no gi? What's your thought on that?
Should they focus on gi or no gi? Is the question.
Yes, and it's my question actually. He asked it like if the white belt should focus in technique or sparring.
Both.
Or
you need to practice technique so you can learn stuff, but you also have to practice sparring so you get used to doing the movement. There's two things. There's knowledge and skills. You have technique for the knowledge, but if you don't have the skills to actually move your body because you don't spar, you'll never be able to do anything useful in live training. So you definitely need technique to learn the knowledge, drilling to learn the knowledge, and then having skills with your body to actually perform the moves in live training. And as far as gi and no gi training, it's just a matter of preference. In my opinion, if you're more interested in training no gi and you want to train no gi, then train no gi. If you're more interested in training the gi and you want to train the gi, then train the gi. If you want to try to do both, then try to do both. It's really all up to you.
So, when are your favorite? I think it should be what? What are your favorite grips to initiate when playing sit-up butterfly guard?
Usually 2-on-1s are my favorite. Either a downward-facing 2-on-1, okay, where you have two hands like so, an upward-facing 2-on-1, where we have hands like so, an elbow 2-on-1, where we have hands like so, or any kind of chaining arm drag grips together. So any kind of 2-on-1 grips. Or Russian 2-on-1s.
This guy made a joke here. I thought the video was horrible. No, it was a badass. Who's your favorite BJJ player outside of your team? If is there anybody?
I like Keenan. Keenan a lot. He's very creative, and actually does something original.
And what's your opinion of close guard?
It can be very effective. It definitely leaves you very exposed for leg locks. It can be effective. I work on closed guard. I feel like I have a very good closed guard. It's just so much, expends so much energy for me playing outside position, constantly pulling your knees to your chest off balance, guys. I just prefer to do other things, but it can be a very useful position for sure.
So one person had asked before and I already replied, what would be the biggest trend in submission grappling? More towards submission, and this guy here is asking, what's going to be the major innovation, but doesn't need to be submission?
Major innovation in
in the submission grappling.
The bridge between standing and ground position, and ground and standing position. The gap between the two are too big right now.
Got it. So guys, we're already here 30 minutes, so we might only do more 1 or 2 or 3 questions here. And Christopher Wiz is asking if you can pass his guard.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Best guard for MMA?
Anything that's Kazushi based. So a butterfly guard where you can easily off balance your partner, or any kind of ashigarami type guard where you can easily off balance your partner.
Marshall Ho is asking if it's going to be necessary surgery on your knee.
Yeah, I think so. I have one more opinion I have to get on the 19th, but everyone I've talked to so far is telling me I need surgery, so probably gonna need surgery.
Guys, last question. Make one good question here. That's going to be the last one. Good one. Does Nick drill off the mats at home or strictly during class?
No, only during class. Only thing he does at home is play Fortnite. So pretty much we come into class, we do John's class, and that's pretty much the extent of drilling. But thinking about the sport definitely is something that we all do outside the mat. We may not go home and drill. We're always thinking about the sport. I always go home and I'm thinking about what the roles were like, how I could have improved, what I'm trying to work on, and things like that. So drilling maybe physically, no, but always mentally, yes.
So Gordon, we are about to go here, and it's pretty much like the last hours here of anyone to get your instruction. So what's the tip here? You get someone who is getting your instructional, and
So the most important thing, like I said before, is to watch it from beginning to end. Okay, if this is something that you're trying to just go through and pick up a few techniques from, there's better videos for that. My whole approach to this is a systematized series of movements from beginning to end. Okay, so the only way the DVD actually, or the only way the instructional actually makes sense is to watch it from minute 1 until hour 10. And if you watch it sequentially, that's when everything's gonna start clicking.
That's awesome. Thanks so much, Gordon. It was awesome.
Yes.
And guys, make sure to check it out, bggfanatics.com. These are the last hours of his instructional on sale, so don't miss this chance.